Hello. Hey. Hi. Welcome to Replay Analysis, where you see me twiddle my fingers in my hoodie strings for 30 minutes and say sexy noises. Like, ooh yeah. And talk about StarCraft. Welcome. Don't click the X. I know you want to if it's the first time experiencing this. Trust me. You're in for a good ride. Don't fucking click it. God. Okay, I'm joking. Relax. Welcome to Replay Analysis. Welcome to Replay Analysis. Hey, how you doing? This is Platinum TVP. Rather PvT, because we're looking at the Protoss's perspective. Okay? So, basically, we're going to look at Jacones. We're going to look at his Protoss and see what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong, how can we help him. Again, this is Platinum level. Let's see what's going on. What are you doing, Jacones? How do you play StarCraft? Let's figure it out. Stack those close patches, dude. You have double stack far patches. Stack those close patches. If you go like this. Boom, 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 boom. Close, close. Far, far. Boom. Perfect. Okay. Also, stop walling the high ground. I'm so sad I made everyone wall. I feel like everyone is that I watch this Protoss, they always wall the high ground. Just stop walling the high ground. Everybody. Spoiler alert. Stop doing it. Please. It's not. No one even benefits from it the way you're supposed to. It was a horrible idea doing this in the first place for myself. I should never have done it. Just wall the mineral line so it's easier on your minerals, so your probes aren't so awkward. It's just more time your probes have to travel. Like, see this shit right now? This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is a problem. I know he's letting the next probe spawn to then also get the fucking probe to go build the gateway. And, you know, your mineral lines is nicely saturated. But here's the thing. Look at this. You have enough for a gateway right now at 37 seconds. What you want to be doing is you want to be building the gateway right as you have the money to build it. The pylon's ready, your money's ready, but you're not building it. And it's because your pylon's further away than if it was like right there, and you can build a gateway like right there. Like imagine if you were this right now. Imagine if you had this much money right now, and your pylon was right there. You could grab this probe and say build a gateway right there, and it would be like right down at like 38 seconds. But let's see how long it takes you to build a gateway from 37. This is the shit that will get you killed. 37, 38, 39, 40. Your gateway realistically goes down about 41 seconds. Okay? Because it's not even 1 second into production yet, and we're at 41. So, like, that's like 4 seconds. 4 to 5 seconds. It's like a decimal as well, but you get the point. It's just later than it should be, and it's really, I would love it if you just, every Protoss, just start walling their side of the mineral line. Fuck the high ground. And we'll go on from there. Your gateway being delayed is not good. Your gas is also delayed. Your gas, let's look at the timers, right? These are things that will make a difference. You made the pylon. Okay, speed it up. This is the pylon. So right now, you should be starting the gas right about the 43 seconds. Right now, you should start the gas. Right now, at 43 seconds, you should start the gas. You start the gas with your first 75 minerals after your gateway while your probe is in production, because you can get this probe, another probe, like, so you'll get to 125 before the probe's done. Like, all you have to do right now is mine, what is that, 45 more minerals? Or what? It's 125, because 75 plus 50 is 125. You just need another 45 more minerals, and you'll easily mine that in the next 5 seconds with a fully saturated mineral line, essentially. So let's see. Like, your gas should be going down at 43. You queue up 2 probes behind the first probe, so you spent 100 minerals doing that. And your gas goes down at 50 seconds. The gas is 7 seconds late. Like, if we're playing perfect again, okay? If the idea is perfect. You might even have been able to take your gas at like 42 seconds. or 41 seconds as well, with all these numbers adding up, probably like 42. And the reason why I say that instead of 43 is because what if you stacked your close patches instead of your far patches right away? What if the second the game started and your probes split, you took probes in the middle and put them on the far, probes in the middle, put them on the far? So far, gas is already delayed, which hurts you in the long run about setting up, like your tech is already delayed, not only because your gateway is delayed, but also because your gas is delayed. So it's rough. It just kind of fucks you over a bit. Now going further. So again, these are just things that if you do it all the time, I don't want it to be a habit for you. I want you to definitely try to fix that. Probe going down to the natural is properly timed. That's good shit. Re-rally the Nexus to the gas. That's good shit. Take your Nexus as soon as your probe gets here. Nexus should be going down at 124. You're scouting his base. I know you're scouting his base. But how long? Like, this is the priority here. Let's see how long it takes you. Okay. I have nothing to say there. Good job. Probe should immediately go from here to here and build your core. Your probe is chilling. And it's because you're scouting now. Okay, your build's fucked up. So, do not do this. Pylon second, or your second pylon is the last building you should make for your opening build order. It literally goes like this. Pylon, gate, gas, Nexus, core, gas, pylon. You built pylon 2 before gas 2 and before core. That's a huge deal. Because, again, if we're talking about efficiency, right? Your gas is 75 minerals, which means that you would be able to build your core at 85 right now. So 90 easy. Or wait, no. What am I talking about? At 75. I'm fucking stupid. 75 is 150. Sorry, let's speed it up again for a second. So you build the pylon. Jesus, I like sped it up too fast again. 136, right? 135. I just want to get you numbers here that are important. Okay, 135, yeah. So at 135, we'll give you like a 1 second leeway where it would, like you say, 1 second later, you'd now build it. If your pro built this Nexus 11 seconds ago and then ran up here to build your core, you could have built the core at 135, guaranteed. 135 core guaranteed. That's when it should go down. And then after your core, you make a probe, a gas, a pylon. You will still not supply block. And the reason why you won't supply block, and the reason why it's okay to make your pylon last, is because it's only making probes. You don't make zealots at all. The only time you ever make a zealot is if like your opponent is going for like a 12 pool and it's Zerg or some shit. Otherwise, you don't make zealots if you're going for an expansion build. You just wait until you can make an adept or a stalker. So, 135. Remember that. How late? Like, your gateway was already 7 seconds. Or no, sorry. Your gateway was like 5 seconds late or so. Your gas was 7 seconds late. How late's your core going to be? 135. Your core is 8 seconds late. So, 5 seconds late, 7 seconds late, 8 seconds late. Every one of your buildings is delayed by a substantial amount. And because you got to realize, we're only 1 minute into the game, like 1 minute and 43 seconds into the game. And now, not only that, like a lot of people, again, they don't realize this is going to impact the rest of your game. They're like, well, who cares? ViBE, it's fucking 7 seconds, dude. Who cares a shit? What are you talking about, man? 7 seconds is nothing, dude. Think about it. 7 seconds to 10 minutes. Can you even tell a difference? You can. The reason why is because now all of your tech is delayed by that. But your tech is not only delayed by the 5 seconds of the gateway, it's also delayed by 7 seconds of the core. So your tech in total is now delayed by 12 seconds from where it should be. 12 seconds is getting bigger, right? And then your gas is delayed by 7 seconds. So even if you got your tech up and you wanted, so like let's say your core is done and you're like, okay, now I want to build my late stalker and my late warp gate. Your gas also being delayed might be the difference of you saying, I can't even afford my Robo, and I got to wait on that too. So that's delayed even more again. Shit like that is, it's just, it pays, it cascades throughout the game of like all these things that get fucked up. Not only that, but also your gateway is going to be producing units all game, right? Ideally, you're going to have this gateway pumping units the entire time. You're not going to make one stalker and then that's all you're going to do with this gateway the entire time. So the gateway is going to ideally have 100% uptime, or as close to that as you can possibly get throughout the game. Whatever makes sense. But already, with your gateway being delayed, it just means that every unit that would have been out at the very least 7 seconds early, every unit could have been out 7 seconds earlier. Every unit by default now is 7 seconds later. And if you think about how fast fights can happen in StarCraft 2, a fight could literally be over in a time frame of 7 seconds. Like if an army fights an army and they clash really fast, 7 seconds later the fight's already decided. So your shit being delayed is going to just hurt you very hard. Long story short, right? That's just what's happening. Also, here's another reason why I don't want you guys to, anyone who's listening, please don't do this anymore. Please don't do cliff blocks, because I don't know if you realize this, Jacones, but this isn't even going to stop a Reaper. A Reaper could literally jump up the cliff and he could fit between that. So if you don't put a pylon here now, you are going to let a Reaper jump into your base, and he literally could walk right through that if he were to go for a Reaper. Also, this is open too. So what you did was that kind of fucked up is you built the core in the very middle of where it should be. It should either be 1 pixel to the right or 1 pixel to the left. And you should put a pylon in the place of whatever's open. So if it was 1 pixel to the right, a pylon would fit in that spot right there, the green box area right here. If the core was right there, 1 pixel to the left, the pylon would fit right there. So even if you put a pylon there, you need to put another pylon there to actually wall it off. Because a Reaper could jump in there or there. So again, I recommend just not doing this at all. Just fucking do it around do a pylon on the edge of your mineral line and then connect the resources to the wall. So much better. So much easier. It's just better. Just do it. It's just better. But notice how your supply is really open. Look at this. Your supply is super open, right? Like you're not even like 23 is the previous max. You're not even close to 23. And your pylon's already done. The build time of a pylon is the same as 2 probes being chrono boosted. And you don't even want a chrono boost until your second pylon's done either, by the way. So the build time of a pylon is actually less than that of 2 probes in normal production. Because 2 probes in normal production is 24. And a pylon is only 18. So yeah, I'm just trying to make sure you understand. And you're not building. Now you're chrono boosting your Nexus. You're building nothing. That's a huge deal. Just make sure you understand the build order is pylon, gate, gas, Nexus, core, gas, pylon. And pylon 2 should actually be in your main base. Pylon 3, this should be your 3rd pylon at the natural. So probe 24 or 23, it really depends on your scout. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is the first probe that you build out of your main Nexus that is being told to go down to your natural because your main base is fully saturated. So 3 out of 3, 3 out of 3, 16 out of 16. The first probe you build that goes down to the natural should be the guy who builds the 3rd pylon. What is this? This is fucked again. Your build's fucked up. So, Jacones, again, this is one of those things where I don't know if you're going for B to GM as a response to, you're just like a B to GM player. We'll see as time goes on. But if you are a B to GM player, you've already fucked the build up. Like, not only with the timings of everything being off, but because you just built this gateway right now, you are playing paranoid, and this does not need to be made this fast. You'd still make an early gateway. It's just way too early. Like, and you're not building a unit. So how much time passed right there? This is the shit you gotta pay more attention to. So your core finishes at 219. At 219, you can build a unit, right? How many seconds? Again, you're already 5 seconds behind, 7 seconds behind, And another like 7 seconds behind, right? I can't remember how late your core was. It's like, I don't know, it was like 9 seconds. Your core was like, right? Or 8 seconds? Something around there. Either way, let's look at how much time passes again now with the fucking gateway being ready to make a unit right now. How much, from 219, how many seconds go by before you make a unit? 4 seconds. So we're adding another 4 seconds again onto your delay of everything. So gateway delayed by 5. Core delayed by 8. Gateway production delayed by 4. So what is that? 5, 8, 4. That's 17 seconds. Your stalker is already 17 seconds later than it should be. Because you just have neglected your fucking opener. 17 seconds is more than half the build time of a stalker. 17 seconds, if you chrono boost the stalker, is almost the entire build time of a stalker. It takes 20 seconds for a stalker to spawn if it's chrono boosted. And you've for no reason wasted 17 already. And it's just because it's not crisp. You're also freaking out here too. Everybody freaks out like this. Everybody freaks out like this. Do not make multiple batteries before you even have units. You know, because here's what you're doing. This is what you're doing to yourself. You're going to make batteries that are going to be done way before you get attacked. Way before. Like one battery, okay. One battery, totally justified. Why is one battery justified? There is nothing stopping this guy from pulling SCVs and going all in. And if you had a battery to help you fight that, it would increase the chances that you're going to break a lot of his SCVs and Marines off or whatever before you die. So one battery can be good there. And the reason why one battery is good there is because you have the ability to overcharge it, which is insanely fucking strong. Now, 2 batteries. 1 battery or 2 batteries is not going to make any difference if this guy pulls SCVs. And like goes super all in like right fucking now with like 4 supply of army. So if he has like 1 Marauder and 3 Marines and he just goes for it with 16 SCVs as well. 1 battery would make the difference there. 2 batteries is not going to change anything. Like 1 battery is already more than enough. Now, if that were to happen, what you're doing to yourself by making a second battery is you're reducing your production. So you made a super early gateway, and you made a super early first and second battery, and your Robo is going to be massively delayed now. I would say, against someone that plays like this, Robo would be amazing. Robo is super fucking good. Again, it's standard as well. Like if you're doing beta GM, it's just standard. That's how the build goes. You go Stalker. As you make a Sentry second, you throw down Gateway number 2 and Robo. As you're making the Sentry. So again, your Stalker should have already popped out and your Sentry should already be in production because of the 17 seconds that have been delayed on the Gateway. And then if you made a second Gateway and a Robo behind that and also had a shield battery, just 1 battery, you could have all of these buildings down. A Robo is 100 minerals or 150 minerals, by the way. You could afford a Robo right now. If you did not make that second battery, you could afford a Robo right now. You have enough gas. It's only 100 gas. You had enough minerals. It's 150 minerals for a Robo, and you just spent 100 on the shield battery, the second one. Again, we'll come back to these, but watch how long these batteries are going to be active for, and they do nothing. I would guess probably 3 minutes or 2 minutes. Because what you're reading from this is you're going, oh god, 3 racks? I'm gonna fucking die right away. No, don't think like that. Like that is not correct at all. If I were to see a 3 racks from a Terran player, and it's not for mass Reapers, which it's not because he's making add-ons, I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna attack me when he has an upgrade done off of those tech labs like Stimpak or like fucking Combat Shield or Concussive Shell, and that is not gonna be until probably 5 minutes plus. Not 3 minutes. Again, another sign is if you were not getting attacked by Reapers already, by the time your first Stalker pops out, it is not a Reaper all-in. Nobody is going to make fucking Reapers at their base and wait until they have like 10 of them and then go, okay, now I'm going to reveal the fact that I'm going Reapers. Nobody's going to do that because that sucks ass. Reapers are all about getting damage done early and like killing probes and like weakening you so that Reapers overwhelm you over time, and also Reapers have regeneration. So if you can somehow like kill a Stalker and then back off and regenerate his Reapers, that's ideally what he wants to do. So if you don't see a Reaper attacking you, by the time your first Stalker is spawning, Because Reapers can be made really early compared to a Stalker. He does not need to make a factory to make a Reaper, but you do have to make a core to make a Stalker. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to worry about shit. Now look at your gateway. You're overreacting, right? On batteries and shit. And now look at your gateway. You're not making a unit. That Stalker spawned. It's just maintaining production is your biggest problem here. Your Stalker spawned out of the gateway at 2 minutes and 43 seconds. 2:43. Your chrono boost is ending right now as well. How long do you wait to make another unit out of this gateway? 2:43. You waited till 2:49 to make a sentry. You waited again another 6 seconds. This is a lot of. This is now 17 seconds plus 3. Your gateway has already now had 23 seconds of downtime. Now let's watch your second gateway. Finishes at 2:53. It's ready to build units at 2:53. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6 seconds again. You really just need to watch your production very closely and not miss shit like this. Like, be very, very, very perceptive of when you need to make units. Because if you're not, it's gonna screw you over and over and over and over and over repeatedly. It's just gonna. This is why you lose games essentially. If anyone ever wonders why the fuck do I die to all-ins, this is why. You've already missed between both gateways. You've already missed about the amount of time it takes for a Stalker to build. Like a full fucking Stalker. That's a lot of time for no reason. And you only have one Stalker out so far. Now, remember these batteries? You made these batteries at like 220, 225. They're just sitting here. Okay, now watch Sentry, right? Let's look at this again. Sentry spawns. At 3:15. 3:15. You've already missed 23 seconds out of production. And just keep in mind, every time you miss, if 1 second goes by and both gateways are producing nothing, that counts for 2, 4, 6. It like doubles it because you have 2 gateways now doing nothing. So 3:15. You're already at. We'll write it down. 23 seconds of idle time on these gates. Here comes. Let's see what else happens here. 3:15. Okay, 3:19. You started a unit. So 4 more seconds. That's now 27. Now let's look at your second gateway. At 3:19, your Stalker spawns. You're at 27 seconds now. How long is this gonna wait? It was like 1 second. That was fine. If it's like 1 second or 0, totally fine. But if it's like fucking 6, 7, 9, 5, it starts to add up a lot faster. 1 second, or like obviously you want it to be 0 if you can, because you can queue up another unit just before the first one finishes, so it could be 0. But I would say anything is acceptable up to 1 second. Up to 1 second is okay. Like that's still, you're not gonna be like, holy fuck, I'm dead. So, and here's the biggest thing of all. You still have no Robo. You haven't even started a Robo yet. Robo's pretty huge at defending all ends. Immortals are like fucking gods at defending pressure. And furthermore, if you were playing against someone who's going to go for a 3 racks all in, and let's just say when your sentry scouts his base that he's never expanding, I'd be like, let's get some fucking Colossus, dude. Get a Colossus out here and I am totally fine. Because Colossus could be like SCVs get deleted, Marines get deleted, and you could always fall back to your high ground and then force field the ramp, and you could just delete them over the force field. And you could also have a Colossus go up and down a cliff. Like Colossus would be so good if it's like a no expansion all in. But you still have no Robo. And you're now look at your Nexus, building nothing. Other Nexus, building nothing. Building nothing. Building nothing. We haven't even talked about your Nexus yet. We have not even talked about your Nexus, but holy shit, like this is rough for your Nexus. You've this one thing alone, you have not built a probe for already like 10 seconds on each Nexus. Now almost 20 seconds. Like, dude, look at this. You might think I'm exaggerating. Watch this.
I am here in the shadows.
First Nexus spawns a probe at 325. So look, 325. Second Nexus spawns a probe at 329. Okay? 325 and 329. Now let's watch your Nexus in the bottom here. How often do you make probes here? Times 2 this for a second. We're like about 30 seconds later and you still haven't started a probe yet. And now he's showing up with the timing. Like that fucking is rough. He's still to make a probe. You're tunnel visioning the fight, I imagine. I'm just watching your probes for a sec. You don't make a probe this entire time. You have not made a probe. You finally made probes. You made a probe out of your main at 4 minutes and 14 seconds. And the last time you made a probe out of the space was at 325. You missed it like you missed basically like 50 fucking seconds of production time with probes. Just that one time alone. And your natural made a probe at 414, and the last time it made a probe was at 329. So that's like 45, 46 seconds or so. 47 seconds. Or 45, whatever. You get the point. 40, yeah. Roughly like 44. So, I don't know. 40 something. I don't know why I can't do that math in my head right now. But like that's a lot of time to miss on your fucking probe right there. Together out of both Nexus. That's like fucking over a minute and a half. It ain't math. Shut up. I don't give a shit about the exact number. It's just a lot, okay? It's a lot. You missed almost a minute on each Nexus. That's insane. And you're at 30 probes right now. That shit is unacceptable if you want to get better at this game. That will keep you low league forever.
I am here.
Now look at your Robo. Right? Same thing again. Let's look at watch your Robo.
I am here.
420. Blaze up. How many seconds go by before you use the Robo after 420?
Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Base is under attack.
You've just started making a unit at 448. You waited 28 seconds. 28 seconds to make an immortal out of your Robo while you're being all in. Just throwing it out there. You're chrono boosting your immortal right now, right? You are chrono boosting it. 28 seconds is about the time it would take. Like plus a couple seconds. It takes an immortal about like 26 seconds to spawn. 26 seconds to spawn if you chrono boost it. You already would have an immortal like there if you made it right away. It would already be walking down the ramp with how long you waited. Like getting ready to walk down the ramp, that is. This shit is what you have to fucking fix. It is not about your micro. It's not about your scouting. It's about just doing the build. Like you scouted everything you needed to scout. Like let's go back now because you're dead here, right? You just die now, I imagine. Yeah, you just die. So let's go back and let's look at your just really quickly now. Let's look at your scouting. Watch your scouting. You give a read here of 3 racks opener. Nice, nice, nice. You scout into his base. You see gas. You see no gas. So you see a 1 gas, 3 racks opener. And you even see a reactor as you leave his base. This is very standard for 3 racks. This also is very not indicative of Reapers. No one's going to fucking go 1 gas, 3 racks Reapers. You have to go double gas if you're going to go for 3 racks Reapers. There's no fucking way you could afford 3 racks a Reaper with 1 gas. Furthermore, he spent gas on top of a reactor. So this makes Reapers like extremely low odds. Like this guy, the only way this guy's going to Reaper is if he just doesn't know how to play StarCraft. If he's like, I heard with Reapers you want to go for 1 gas and a reactor off of 3 racks? Is that right? And his friend's like, yeah, that's correct. And his friend's over there just laughing his ass off because he's trolling the shit out of him. And he's like, yeah, that's how you go Reapers. Okay, I'm doing it then. That's the only fucking way this guy would go Reapers. Is if someone told him to do it as a joke. With the way he set his build up. So I wouldn't even expect Reapers. It's just not realistic. So it looks like it's going to probably be either a full-on barracks timing of like SCV pull bio, which it could be that. Probably not though. But because he's making an add-on, so like just know this too, because he's making an add-on, it lowers the chance for an SCV pull. It still could happen, but it's lower chance because if he's going to make a fucking add-on, it means he's going to wait to attack you. Otherwise, why the fuck is he making an add-on? So, because it takes time to get that shit to take into effect. So if he's making an add-on, it probably means that he's going to make more add-ons. And just so you got anyone out there, just so you guys know, a standard 3 racks opener for Terran is always going to be first barracks makes a reactor, second and third barracks make tech labs. This way you can go into Marines, Marauders, and upgrades for your Marines. That is just in general how it goes. That's just how it goes. That's a standard 3 racks opener. Now this guy doesn't have an expansion, so yes, it could be a very all-in version. Anyone who's going to make 3 racks before they even expand looks like they're going to be really aggressive, which increases the chance for like an SCV pull or something like that. So I totally agreed as a response to what you did here to make a battery, but I only agreed with you making 1 battery. Because this is a more aggressive version of a 3 racks than instead what a normal one is, which is barracks, command center, barracks, not just barracks. So I agree with the first battery you made because it's more aggressive so you can be more defensive. Second battery, pointless. Super pointless. We'll come back to the batteries again another time, and we'll talk about shield battery overcharge, and we'll see if you even used it. Now, further going into that, let's look at your scouting as a follow-up to this. What do you scout? So again, what I would say is a good read for this seems like it could be aggressive. Let's keep making units as normal, but make a battery a little bit faster than normal. That's about it. Now, let's watch your follow-up scout. Do you send a hallucinating phoenix to his base? You never do. Okay, so you never even sent a hallucinating phoenix out by the time he came to your base. And now he's at your base. That's fine. Okay, so you're scouting. Like, you're scouting already. It did give you all the information you needed, by the way. 3 racks before command center is a sign of aggression. Anyone who makes an add-on before a fucking barracks is done is usually a sign of someone who's going to go for a later timing and not just make 4 units at once and then go. They're not going to rally units into your base from like the first 4 units that spawn. Why is that? Number 1, they're not proxied at your base. And number 2, why would you make an add-on and delay your all-in if you're going to like go for a really fast all-in and just make Marines only? So this, you see what this guy's doing? He actually showed up with a bunch of Marines. So this means that this guy's build is fucking awkward. But it doesn't matter if someone does an awkward build if you just have efficiency on your side, which you have not had yet. Let's watch your actual defense this time. All you have to do right now, there's 2 buttons you got to hit. 2 buttons and you'd win the fight. Button number 1, Guardian Shield. Button number 2, Battery Overcharge. If you did both of these things, this army would not even touch you. It would do fucking nothing. Let's see how you react to it, or with your units. You Guardian Shield it. You have enough to battery overcharge right now. You overcharge a battery right now. Okay, but you did it after your first stalker died. So a bit of a blunder there because you just lost one of your 4 stalkers, which is a huge chunk of your DPS right now. But at least you used it. But you want to know something kind of funny? Check this out. Let's do some numbers for you really fast. There are 14 Marines, okay? Let's just get a calculator out here so I don't fuck this up somehow. 14 Marines times 4 damage, okay? This is going to be, let me do the math in my head really fast. This is 56. Hee, I'm still smart. 56 damage. Okay? Every 0.6 seconds. So you'd multiply this by 2. Just to give a rough estimate, it says, doesn't have to be exact, but we're going to multiply it by 2 because Marines can roughly shoot about twice a second. So Marines are doing roughly 112, a little over 100 damage a second. 112 is actually above what they should be doing because we're giving them 2 attacks a second, which would mean their attack speed's 0.5 when it's really 0.63 or 0.61. Sorry, it's a little bit more than half a second. So roughly, let's just average it out and say Marines do roughly about 100 damage a second with this many of them, with the fact that you have a Guardian Shield up. Now here's the crazy thing. Okay, check this out. 1 shield battery heals for 51 shields a second. Don't look at the fact that it says 36 shields a second. It's fucking lying. It does 51. This thing is a fucking liar. Don't look at the tooltip. It literally does 51. I don't care what it says. Your battery overcharge though? Jesus. Is it really? Did they nerf it or some shit? Maybe they nerfed it. Okay, so we'll just say it does 36, okay? Because it literally says 36. I can't argue with the tooltip. It used to do 51 and it was 102 after, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking crazy. 72, okay? 72. We'll say it does 72 shields a second. All right? So if a Marine is doing 100 damage, if all these Marines can pull off about 100 damage a second, and your shield battery is able to heal 72 shields a second, you're able to mitigate a lot of that damage just with the shield battery being overcharged. And that's not including and then these Marines are also very squishy. They're going to die at quite a rather quick pace. So Guardian Shield, no, I already calculated the fact that Guardian Shield's in here. If Guardian Shield didn't exist, it would be more than 100 damage a second. It would be like 130 or some shit. Or like 120. But long story short, the point I'm trying to make here is battery overcharge is already a massive counter to what you're dealing with. And the more units you would have, the more units you give yourself at this point in the game increases the DPS that you have, and the more DPS that you have decreases his DPS at a faster pace because you will pop Marines faster if you have more units. So if he has 20 Marines and you have like 8 Stalkers, you'll kill Marines faster and you'll overwhelm the fight in your advantage faster than if you had 5 Stalkers and like 3 batteries or 4 batteries. Does that make sense? All you need is 1 battery. The only ViBE, it also hurts that he doesn't have warp gate. Yes, agreed. That's also a fact because you could warp in 2 units right now off of your 2 gateways. Just keep in mind, okay? Keep in mind. 1 battery is all you need for an all-in. It's just 1 battery. The only time you ever need a battery that is more than 1 battery is if you think the fight. Oh, you know what? Let me say it like this. Let me say it like this. I'm gonna start over, and I'm gonna preface. Jesus. I'm gonna preface what I'm about to say with a point that I think a lot of Protosses do not understand. The only time it ever makes sense to make more than 1 battery. There are 2 instances. Okay. There's 2 times where this makes sense. To make more than 1 battery in the same location. One of these 2 instances are if you think your opponent has the means to focus fire your battery to death. That is one time when it makes sense to build a second battery. Okay? And we'll come back to the second part in a second, but I'll tell you why it makes no sense to make a second battery at this point in the game, and here's why. If your sentry scouted towards the Terran's base, it is still too early for this guy to have stim pack. This is a very early timing that he's doing to you. So if this guy, basically, the point I'm trying to make is if he did go for stim pack, if that was going to be his plan, you would have had enough time to send out a hallucinated Phoenix to his base, spot that he's getting stim with a tech lab tech lab barracks, and you see Marines and Marauders and shit, and he's like getting ready to push you. You could then add on another battery and go, all right, cool. Yeah, no, this is fucking stim all in here. It's gonna hit you later. Because he's going to wait for stim. He doesn't have stim because he didn't wait at all. He just fucking went right away. So if there was stim pack, then yes, it would have made sense to make a second battery if you felt like you were like, oh god, okay, this is scary. Because you could totally stim the battery down or some shit. And also Marauders can kill buildings really fast. That's not happening now, so it made no sense to make a second battery. Now going back and talking about the second time it ever makes sense to make more than one battery. When the fight is going to be a very long one, because you're going to be getting sieged. The only time in StarCraft 2, early game, when a fight is really long, is when one side or the other is sieging the other side. That's the only time fights ever last a long time. Because if you're not sieging, your army is taking damage, and if your army takes damage really early in the game, it will die. Like, you don't have a lot of it. So if this guy was doing a siege tank timing and your scout was like, oh, he's got a fast factory, he's got a tech lab on it, he's got tanks, I'm going to be getting hit by a fucking siege tank, like siege like push, essentially. Sure, yeah. It makes sense then to make more batteries so that you don't lose one battery in like 10 seconds and then just all your units start dying because you're like, oh fuck, I'm getting sieged and I can't heal through it anymore. It then makes sense to get a second battery or a third battery or whatever to continuously heal through the siege and like try to kill his units as well. If one of those two is not happening, it makes no sense to build a battery. And the reason, again, the grand reason of all of this is the less batteries you build, the bigger your army is, and one battery being overcharged is enough to heal your army like a fucking boss. That's all it is. A lot of Protosses do not think about that way. A lot of Protosses just go, oh, aggression? More batteries. Let's make more batteries and more batteries and more batteries and more batteries. And it's always the wrong fucking choice. Because it just makes your army smaller. More batteries healing less units is worse than one battery healing lots of units. And the ultimate reason why that exists, why that is a thing, why is this a thing, ViBE? How does that make sense? Wouldn't that one battery just like deplete itself really fast? No, because if you overcharge it, it has 14 fucking seconds of guaranteed healing. Costs 0 energy to heal twice as fast. And batteries don't stack over batteries, by the way. Like 2 batteries or 3 batteries cannot heal the same unit like SCVs can repair a building. Only one battery at a time can heal a unit. So if your opponent's DPS is high and it's not siege and it's not fucking, you know, something that's going to like run over your battery. If you're going to stand in front of your battery, okay, you want more units to kill his army at a faster pace so that his DPS falls down into the range where the battery can actually maintain it and heal through it. Because if you have like, if he's got like 20 fucking Stimpack Marauders, let's just say, hypothetically say that, okay? If he has 20 Marauders with Stimpack, I would rather have one fucking battery with the overcharge than like 6 Immortals and 1 battery than like 2 Immortals and 8 batteries. Because if that is, or like 10 batteries and 2 Immortals. Because if that's how it was, he will stay at that DPS threshold longer because I have less DPS to kill his army myself because I made way too many fucking batteries, and he will literally over DPS my battery. Like, he'll kill units through the battery if I don't have enough units of my own to whittle down his army faster. So it makes more sense to make more army so that your overcharge battery can like keep maintaining you to a degree, but if you lower his DPS faster, your battery, every DPS of his that dies increases the the backbone of the battery to your army. Does that make sense? I hope I'm explaining this in a way that makes sense. Everyone thinks that more batteries is the answer, and it's not. If your opponent has more DPS, if your opponent has enough DPS to like overpower a battery, they overpower all batteries. It does not matter if you have fucking 10 of them or 1 of them. Because again, batteries cannot stack their heals. They have to literally heal 1 at a time on a unit. So if your unit's getting 1 shot, 1 shot, 1 shot, 1 shot. If you have 100 batteries or if you have 2 batteries, it's going to get fucking 1 shot. So again, you just want more DPS. So prioritizing your DPS, prioritizing your production is how you want to go. And look at that money right now. You just started spending your money after the fight was over. Also, you got to be really careful too. You got to be super careful because you're doing another fuck up here. Warp Gate. Some of you may or may not know this as well. But check this out. Did you guys know that Warp Gate has the same effect of practically having a permanently chrono boosted gateway? Did you know that? The Warp Gate cooldown of a unit is substantially faster than the build time of a unit. So the cooldown of a Stalker is going to be like 26 seconds or some shit. What is it again? I can't remember what the fuck it is. I don't know why. Or no, it's like, is it like 21 seconds? I think it's actually like 21 seconds. Or 20. Fuck, I don't know. I want you to make a warp gate. Make a warp gate. What is it? Okay, good. You made a warp gate before the game is over. So the build time of a Stalker is 30 seconds. The build time of, or the recharge time of a warped in Stalker is 23. It's 23. I don't know why I couldn't remember that, but it's 23. That's 7 fucking seconds off the build time of a Stalker every single time. That's insane. So what you should do is you should definitely, if your warp gate is about done, if your warp gate's like, let's just say your warp gate is, you know, like 4 seconds from being done, and you just started a Stalker in production, you should cancel that fucking Stalker, because the amount of time that you're going to save every single time from then on is going to be beneficial if you just, you know, let the warp gate turn into a warp gate, and then you build Stalkers from that point on. You'll get them out so much faster. And not only, it's like a two-purpose thing as well. That's a double benefit. Not only does it make every consecutive Stalker build faster, because it's not 30 seconds anymore, it's now only 23, but on top of that, you get the unit at the start of the cycle rather than at the end of the cycle. So that's fucking huge. That's a double positive. So long story short, the only reason why you died here is because you did not maximize any of your production. Every gateway you had was delayed. Your Robo was delayed. Like, not only in terms of when you built them, but also maintaining utilizing them. Like, your Robo was fucking 28 seconds before you even started making a unit out of it. So, and the gateways in total up to the point where you, like, you know, you started getting attacked, you missed like 30 seconds in total off of production time, off of your gateways. That's a lot of fucking time you cannot miss out on. So maintain your production better. And then furthermore, once your warp gate's ready to go, make your fucking gateways warp gates. Do not just keep pumping rallied up Stalkers out of them. Try to pay attention to that, because it makes your Stalkers spawn faster. Every unit, by the way, not just Stalkers, every fucking unit has a reduction to how much time it takes the unit to spawn. It's crazy good if you let if your gateways are warp gates. So production is why you lost this game. Your scout gave you enough. Your read might not have been as good as what it could have been. Like your probe timing to scout him was great. Your comprehension of what you scouted might have been a little bit lacking. We kind of talked about that and how you only need one battery and how to understand that. And then furthermore, yeah, your production is why you lost. Jacques Nice. It was all because of your production. You did not have any fucking army. Like, you definitely should have had more. And then you want to know how you hold this? You want to know how you hold this? Long story short, the way you hold this is he shows up at your base, you batter your overcharge, and you win the game. You don't even fucking move your units. You just let your units automatically A-move him when he aggroes you by shooting you. And you would not even lose the fight, because you should have had such a bigger army when he was at your base. Like, you should have already had an Immortal out, and you probably should have had something along the lines of about 1 sentry and like 6 Stalkers. Seriously. Or like, no, realistically, you should have had like 7 Stalkers and a fucking Immortal. And the reason why I say that is because your first gateway could have easily made Sentry, Stalker, like 3 units, Warp Gate finishes, and I guarantee you could have had 2 rounds of Warp-ins by the time he was attacking your base. So if you're doing 3 plus 2 rounds of 2 gateways, that's 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 2 is 7. And that would be, you're making all Stalkers except for one of the Sentries. So it's 6 Stalker, 1 Sentry, and an Immortal. I guarantee you could have had an army like that. But all you had, though, was 4 Stalkers and a Sentry. because you never let Warp Gate finish and you never even made the Immortal. Like, that would crush this dude. Easy peasy. Anyways, Jacones. I'll give you one more piece of advice. Another thing that would be huge is if your opponent goes for a barracks heavy build and you're doing bronze to GM style Protoss, by all means, or you're doing beta GM Protoss. Okay, yeah, no. Never. I'm gonna retract what I was about to say. It made no sense. It would just overcomplicate shit. I retract it. Don't do it. Just make Immortals and Stalkers, and then you can eventually, once your natural's fully saturated, even though you're like, he might all in me, I don't know, take your fucking third base. People are so afraid to expand when they're getting all in, and I don't know why. Like, you shouldn't be. You're assuming this guy can execute a fully well-executed 3 racks all in. And this is also assuming you can do a fully executed defensive 2-gate Robo defensive play. But the difference there is one of them doesn't need micro and one of them does. You don't have to micro shit being the macro guy. He has to micro everything being the aggressor. If he doesn't micro, he's definitely going to lose. So he has to micro. And players in Platinum League that micro have the worst fucking builds of all time. Like, they just have no follow-up. They, like, here's an example. Okay, watch this. We'll look at the Terran. We'll look at the Terran, okay? Watch as he attacks you. Watch this shit. He's attacking you right now, right? So, look at his production. Watch. We'll go to the Terran's perspective. He's got Marines in production. He's walking up the ramp. He's like, I'm going to attack now. I'm going to go fuck up the Protoss. Oh, shit. All right, let's regroup here for a second and get ready to go in again. Look at his production. Watch the... Look up. I want your eyeballs to be up here in production tab. This fucking happens to everybody in Platinum, even in Diamond League. Everything below that. Watch his production as he wants to fight you. Multitasking just goes in the toilet. And here we go. Look at that production. That's some juicy production. Look at that production. Look at it. Look at it. Fight's over. Produce again. There's fucking no multitasking. And people who do that kind of shit in an all-in are always going to lose versus somebody who knows how to produce during a fight. Every single time. Like, dude, Jacones, I am stressing it so hard because this is why you lost. You lost because you don't produce units fast enough. You have these weird dead times on your production facilities for no reason. And then when they're active, you don't even produce out of them all the time as well. You're making the same mistake that this guy's making, where he just doesn't produce half the time. And this build is super awkward, by the way. Triple reactor, non-proxied parade push of Marines. The most awkward fucking build ever. If you just built units at a good pace, every time he showed up at your base, he would lose Marines and you would lose 0 units, and it would get to a point where the supply would be like 80 for you and like 45 for him. And he would never, ever kill a unit then. Because you just have a ridiculously large army compared to what he's making, which is unupgraded Marines in every way. No stim pack, no combat shield, no weapons. And he's still mining gas with reactored Marines. This build makes no sense. But anyways, I hope it makes sense. Jacones, much love for doing a replay analysis. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this helps you too. Feels like an hour ago when we were talking about how I was talking about sexy stuff. But guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take it easy. Much love. Peace, guys. See ya.